Hi, I'm Trinity, and this is TV Trinity. Welcome or welcome back. This Friday is the 4th of July, so I thought it was time for another Me Convincing You. This is me convincing you to watch National Treasure Edge of History. First, I have to start out with, if you haven't seen the movies, obviously watch those because I think they are amazing. Some of my favorite movies. The first movie is about Ben Gates and his best friend Riley. They are looking into a treasure that Ben was told about when he was a kid and has not stopped thinking about since, which leads him to stealing the Declaration of Independence.
I'm gonna steal it.
What?
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
And craziness ensues from there. And then the second movie, Book of Secrets, the Gates family name is almost thrown into the mud again, involving the Lincoln assassination. And it's going into the mystery of that, and again, another treasure hunt. But in 2022, the movies got a spin-off series, National Treasure Edge of History, and that is what I'm convincing you to watch today, if you've seen the movies. If not, go watch the movies first. And it's like patriotic in the way that Hamilton is patriotic, fun, musical, full of drama. So it's just like the perfect watch for this weekend. So, what is National Treasure Edge of History about? Obviously, if you know the movies, you know that both are about a treasure hunt. So, this show is the exact same way. Just this time, we are following a group of teenagers instead of Ben and his friend group slash family in searching for a treasure, with our main character Jess Valenzuela and her four friends. We find out that a year or so after her mom has passed, that her mom had been looking into, when she was in college, the existence of a Pan American treasure and was trying to prove the validity of it, but was obviously not able to prove that and unfortunately died before she could. Jess and her friends start finding these clues to the Pan American treasure and go on their own treasure hunt to try and find it. Personally, I think if you like the movies, you will like this series. I have loved the movies since I was a kid and love the show. My dad also loves the movies and really enjoyed the show. But some other, if you likes, you probably like the show, are The Night at the Museum, Outer Banks, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, and Only Murders in the Building. I feel like they all have that mystery. Obviously, Outer Banks has the treasure hunt. Percy Jackson and the Olympians has that like family secrets kind of tie. So if you like any of those, you will probably like National Treasure Edge of History. Now moving on to notable characters. Obviously, I mentioned earlier Jess Valenzuela. She is our main character. She lives in New Orleans with her friends and did not go to college in order to take care of her mom, and now is looking into this treasure. We also learn throughout the series that she's a dreamer, and so that kind of adds some extra stakes to her looking into this treasure. Next, we have Ethan. Ethan is Jess's male best friend. They grew up together. Her mom took care of him when they were little. They went to the same high school, and everybody kind of thought they should date, but they didn't. And so we're kind of seeing that dynamic play out throughout the season. Then we have Tasha, Jess's female best friend. They live together, and Tasha is kind of like the hacker of the group. Part of Riley's personality, I feel like, is put into her character if you know Riley from the original movies. And then Oren, the other part of Riley's personality, he is very much the comedic relief. He is Tasha's ex-boyfriend, but we also kind of get to see them potentially rekindling their relationship throughout the season. Then we have a cameo from Agent Sadusky. Obviously, he is in the original movies. He is the FBI agent that almost arrests Ben for stealing the Declaration of Independence. But in this, he is the grandfather to Liam Sadusky, another notable character. And their tie-in is, originally it's just the core four: Jess, Ethan, Tasha, and Oren. Liam joins them because he also has clues to the Pan American treasure that he and Jess are able to work on together. And we also get to see a little bit of romance between Jess and Liam. Along with seeing Agent Sadusky again, we also get to see Agent Hendricks again. And if you remember from the movies, he is the agent that did not take Ben's tip about stealing the Declaration of Independence.
Yes, Agent Hendricks. You have something? This isn't a day for
We got a tip several days ago that someone was going to steal the Declaration of Independence.
Do we have a name on the tipster?
There was no file opened. We didn't find the information credible.
How about now?
He is now head of the department in New Orleans, and so we get to learn more about his character and also some secrets that he's been keeping. And obviously, we need a villain to also be chasing after the treasure, and that is Billy Pierce. She is a black market antiquity dealer, so she is trying to find the treasure to sell it. But we also get some more history in this group that she's a part of and why she might be looking for the treasure. So now moving on from notable characters to notable relationships. First, we have Jess and Ethan. We see them in the first episode. They are both extremely smart, have a lot in common, and like I mentioned, they were childhood best friends. Still are best friends. He knows about her her DACA status, and like obviously grew up together. His mom helped raise, or her mom helped raise him, and you get the inkling that they kind of maybe had crushes on each other at one point, or maybe that he still has a crush on her, but she is in the mindset that they are better off just staying friends because they don't want to ruin the friendship. He seemingly agrees to this, but it's very clear that he kind of wants to pursue being more than friends, but is not going to push it, which I appreciate. And while that could be cute, I personally think her other ship just has a little bit better chemistry, so I'm happy with them staying just best friends. And mentioning her other ship, that is Jess and Liam. I love Jess and Liam so much. I think they are the cutest. So Jess meets Liam through his grandfather, Agent Zadusky, and they first get off on the wrong foot because is already starting to look into the treasure, and he has some bad blood with it because of his grandpa and his dad, which we learn throughout the series. But once he's kind of brought into the fold of searching for the treasure, they just bond more and more, and I just think they are so cute. Like from the moment we got him singing Suspicious Mind to her in Graceland, it was over for me. I knew they were going to be endgame. I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby. And lastly, Tasha and Oren. I really love Tasha and Oren. I think they were so cute and had such good chemistry. They were together before episode 1. It had broken up or on a break, and we get to see them kind of come back to each other and rekindle their relationship. And like I mentioned earlier, they're kind of both sides of Riley's personality. Tasha with the hacker side, Oren with the comedic relief side. So I feel like them just being together makes perfect sense. Moving on to my favorite episodes, starting out with season 1, episode 3. This is Graceland Gambit. This is when the group goes to Graceland to try and uncover a clue. I really enjoyed this episode because I think this is the first time we get to see all 5 of them interact together. Then we get Liam and Ethan going undercover to try and help discover this clue. We get to see the secret room that is in Graceland with all of Elvis's like most precious stuff. And like I mentioned earlier, we get Liam singing Suspicious Mind to Jess, and I love his rendition of it. And he told a story on a podcast that because of the way that they were going to shoot the scene, they weren't able to use the recording, so he was singing it live, which I think is just so cool. But I think it's just such a good episode. And then we get the moment with Jess and Liam at the end discovering what the clue actually is. Moving on to my second favorite episode, this is Charlotte, a little nod to the first movie with the episode title, but this is Liam's grandfather's wake episode, and it is right after Liam and Jess have had a little moment, so she's trying to decide whether or not she should go. But then we get them together at the wake. Everybody ends up at the wake, but we get a cameo from Riley, which this is also why it's one of my favorite episodes. He stepped back into the character flawlessly and was so funny. But we get Riley and Jess kind of working together, trying to escape the clue room. We get another Liam song, and we get Liam and Jess's first kiss, and then we also get a funny Tasha Oren moment because they're not fully back together yet, but Oren's trying, and I just think it's really cute. But also another great episode, but it also ends on a really good cliffhanger because we find out that maybe somebody isn't who they say they are, or is sharing secrets that they shouldn't in the group.
Zadusky has a clue room to a treasure. I don't understand. Why would he never tell us that? That's the pipe. And those. They're like early American X-ray specs.
And my last favorite episode, this is episode 10, the last episode of the season, Treasure Protectors, another nod to the movies, which I love. But this episode just wraps the season 1 storyline up in a bow. And even though they were setting up for season 2 that we unfortunately didn't get, the cliffhanger is not connected to anything that we were looking into in season 1, so I'm able to let it go. Like I said, it wraps everything up perfectly. We get to figure out who the mysterious Salazar is that we've been hearing about all season, and it just makes me want to go dissect all of that character's moments from the beginning. But we also get really great moments with Jess and her dad. Both of my favorite ships end up together, and I think it was just a great way to end the season and series, unfortunately. That was me convincing you to watch National Treasure: Edge of History. If you've already seen it, let me know all of your thoughts on the show, because I don't have enough people to talk about it with. If you haven't watched it, let me know if I convinced you. If you want to follow me on any of my other socials, they'll be linked in the description as always, and I'll see you next time. Bye!